everybody. We're fixing to start our day off here this morning. First thing we do every morning whenever we get to the farm on the days that I'm off from my public job is we feed cattle first. That's kind of our way that we go out and inspect everybody, make sure we don't have any calves that are sick, any cows that are showing any signs of sickness. And then we'll go ahead and feed, and then we'll go on about our day. But before we start, I want to talk a little bit about our feed setup that we use. We run Kubota RTV 1100s. Each farm has one on them that we have cattle on. They're a full cab machine, got heat and air, just like a little miniature diesel pickup truck. This right here, this is 2009 year model. This is the first one we bought of them. But they, in our business, they're a must-have. Pretty much everybody's going to have something that they're riding check cattle on. Of course, everybody always pictures a cattle farmer or a cowboy riding a horse. Sorry, we ain't horse riders. That's our horse. It's a lot cheaper to feed it than it is to feed a horse. And I enjoy air conditioning in the summertime and heat in the winter when it's cold and rainy like it is today. But we've been feeding cattle supplemental feed for about the last 4 or 5 years through the winter time. First couple of years we fed like everybody usually does with 5-gallon buckets. But when you're out there slopping around in the mud around the feed trough trying to carry buckets, that's just opening yourself up to an opportunity to get knocked down by cattle and maybe get hurt. So to reduce that risk, we went in and bought 10S Trip Hopper Junior trip boxes. They hold about 300 pounds of cake. But we don't feed cake, we feed ground corn, and I'll show you the ground corn whenever we load the box. The box is actually empty, so we'll load here in just a minute and then strike out on feeding cattle. But the feed box is a steel box that's run off 12-volt power. It has a little switch inside. I'll put the camera inside today and actually let you see me operate the box, and I'll kind of talk about what goes on whenever we're operating it. And then I shot some video yesterday of actually feeding because it wasn't raining. And that way y'all guys won't get wet whenever we're out feeding cattle. But with these 10 Trip Hoppers, when you initially get them, they come in, and then you're going to have to know, first thing you got to do is you need to weigh your feed so you know about what your feed's weighing. And then from that, there's a graduated scale here in inches on this little door. Let me grab y'all, move y'all a little closer here. So this little door right here, you can stick a wrench or something in here and twist this lock, and you can slide this door up and down depending on how many pounds of feed that you want out. You can actually see here, this is already set from yesterday. You can see our ground corn that we grind. That's corn that we grow on another plot of land that we have leased. It's not on the home farm, and we run it through a hammer mill and hammer that corn. But the measurement of the width of the opening of the door here equals how many pounds of feed that you want to put out. We're trying to target about 3 to 5 pounds of feed per animal per day as a supplement. But once we set that door, you can take a 5-gallon bucket and stick underneath the trap here, and then trip it and weigh that feed, and then you can adjust that up and down. We have been thoroughly satisfied with these. They are built tough, and they're super simple. And of course, you can't see that sticker. Clean it off there. Right there's the best part about them. They're manufactured in Texas. We don't have a dealer for them close by. I think when I ordered these, I ordered them from NRS, and they truck freighted them in. But it makes it super nice. It makes it where we don't have to be out whenever we're riding the feed bump, putting feed out for cattle, to worried about getting knocked down or anything. I built a plate, a frame that sits across the bed of each buggy, and that box sets down in, and then the actual framework and the box is strapped down to the floor of the bed of the buggy, so we don't have to worry about them tipping over or anything. So just a little bit about our setup, how we're feeding cattle. This one box will feed This whole herd that's up here, there's about 35, somewhere's 35 mama cows, and about there's 2 bulls and 6 calves as of right now as we're starting to calve out. So we're feeding about 40 head with this box, and when we get done each day, there's probably 5 or 10 pounds of feed in it. So it makes it very convenient. We can just quickly ride across the field, check cows, feed cows. We have our cows trained to come to the sound of the horn blowing on the buggy. And so you'll see as we go out and feed cows, and I'll turn the camera around whenever we start out today so you actually look at the cows. It's a muddy, sloppy mess. And cows, this is the unpretty side of farming when it's rainy and sloppy like it is right now. But don't judge us by that. Just watch what's going on in the video. Pretty days will be coming here in a few more months when springtime rolls around. So let me open up the doors on the barn. We'll jump in the buggy. We'll strike out, go get full of feed, and then go feed some cows. So y'all come along. Okay, so this is our setup that we load feed out of. We run a John Deere 4230 on the hammer mill, and we run a New Holland hammer mill. So I'm fixing to fire this tractor up, and then we'll go ahead and load feed, and then we'll go feed cows. So come on. Here's, you can see we got a battery disconnect switch. We always kill the power in the barns. Not a very happy camper. It wasn't plugged up last night. Temperatures dropped a little bit, so those older 4 Series John Deeres don't like cold weather. Alright, so I'm gonna activate the PTO lever. See feed coming out of the actual hammer mill. Comes up that auger. You can see the feed level there in the side of the sight glass windows. Hammer mill will hold enough feed for about 2 weeks worth of feeding on this herd. Level our box off. That'll be plenty for right now. Shut our tractor off and let's go feed. Alright, so hopefully you're able to see the inside of the RTV really good. You can see, so this right here, this is the control head for the TNS trim hopper. The big silver button is actually what turns it on and off. And then right here, if you know, like if you were going to feed the exact numbers for the number of cattle that are in the paddock or in the lot that you're feeding, this guy here it tracks, so every time the door trips it counts 1 revolution, which means there's enough feed in the trough for 1 animal. But we're not really paying attention to that. We're trying to feed this group of brood cows here in order to keep weight on them. They're all bred and are due to start calving in March, April, and May. So we're trying to keep them in the best body condition score that we can keep them in so calving season here. That's something yesterday in the video of working on the sprayer and the hydraulic cylinders, I said that, you know, the most expensive words in agriculture are we've always done it this way. As a kid, farming with Grandpa, we never run control calving season. He calved 12 months out of the year. That was the way he wanted to calve. That was the old timer mentality of, hey, I'm going to get calves to sell each month, so my money's going to continually come in throughout the year. As I grew up and became in charge of the operation, we began to see that, you know, that's not a good idea. In our situation, we wanted to be able to hit a target pinpoint area of the market and be able to offload all our calves when cattle were at a higher price, or be able to more or less depict when we got to sell cattle based off of the market and what was the best for our grass and the amount of forage that we have on this operation. Here's a better view of the cows that we just got done feeding. These cows are all first calved heifers. There's 2 replacement cows in it, this group 2, and 2 bulls. The 2 cows that are replacement cows are 3 and 5 year olds. But there's 7 first calf heifers in here, so that's the reason why they're pinned up in a lot by themselves, so we can keep a close eye on them. We actually had a new baby calf this morning whenever I got up here checking, and I'll be sure to put a little clip of it running around in the pasture here. But these cows are on a special diet. They get about 5 pounds of corn, ground corn, a piece a day. And like last week, whenever we were in really cold temperatures, they actually got supplemental fed twice a day. And then they have free choice round bale dry hay and our hay feeders. That's the type of hay feeders we use. It's what's called a double cone hay feeder. It causes the cows to have to reach through the feeder twice. It has a ring at the bottom that collects the excess hay that they drop as they're going in and getting mouthfuls. And then they can come back and pick the bottom of it up and eat the hay that's down in the bottom of the rack. But that's just fescue mixed grass hay off first cuts, what that is. So Just thought I'd give y'all a better look at what they look like. Maybe some of the baby calves will be running around. You can see some of them. These are all purebred registered Simmental cattle. They're calving anywhere as they started the first week of January, and they'll calve all the way on through into March. There's one of the solid black bull there, and then there's purebred Simmental white-faced bull too. Both of those are like 18 months old, so this will be their first breeding season when we turn out in May with our main herd. They're all going to follow us now. I think we're going to feed them again. So it's a muddy, sloppy mess. Like I said, we went from one extreme to the other. Last week was freezing cold and rain and snow mixed junk. That ground was froze. This week it's rain and solid mud. So all right, just thought we'd break the video up for something different this morning. All right, so we're fixing to pull up to this next group of cows. This is that same group of replacement cows that I shot video in yesterday. So you'll just get to see them from inside the cow today. One of those things. I have talked to y'all for 10 minutes there, explaining all about the farm and how it works, the things that we do, and why we dry lot those cattle. Talked about how the thing operated, and somebody had called me and turned the video off, and I didn't realize it. So y'all didn't get any of that. I guess it was good practice for myself to hear myself talk. But we'll try this again right here on this group. Maybe nobody will call. But I'm going to check when I come back from opening this gate this time. That's when they called the last time, and I didn't know they called. So dry run, I guess we better get good at talking to y'all. So let me grab this gate. We're going to slip and slide our way up the side of this hill because this is on another hilltop and the dirt's different here, and this is like snot. It is so slick. It's a clay dirt, and you may get to see me bust my butt, so I'll turn the windshield wiper on. I hope I don't. I don't feel like being wet and covered in mud. But let me grab these gates and feed this group. I'll talk about how this thing operates again, and I will go from there. So let me grab this gate. See the cows, they'll probably come around and check the buggy out. They're wanting extra feed. So let me grab this trough and I'll be right back. unless it's coming a torrential downpour. It don't rain enough to make them not make racket. We must have really fed that big herd good. Okay, so we fed cows and we're back. We always fill the box back up. And the last thing we do before we put the buggy up for the day if we're done. So I'm gonna show you a little bit about the hammer mill, and I'll show you the inside of a gravity box here that we've got that's got corn in it that's ready to be ground. We'll talk a little bit more about it yet. So here, that's a gravity box. You can see how that the box is sloped to the left-hand side. It makes it to where we can just pull up to the unload auger on the actual hammer mill, open that door right there up with this big wheel, and the corn will fall out with a little to no effort. So let me climb up here. Hold on just a second. So this corn that's in this buggy, this corn was actually from 2022. We kind of been procrastinating in a way. We have not picked our 2023 corn yet, but we may wind up picking corn next week depending on what weather does. But this is just a yellow feed corn. This was Beck's hybrid seed is what this is. I don't remember what the hybrid number was, but it did really good for us last year or year before in 22. And then in 23, it has done really well again. It has, even as long as what it's been standing in the field, it was still standing pretty good the other day when I was down there. But we'll pick corn here in a week or so. You may be in for a treat there. I got a good friend of mine. Him and his young son will come down, and he has a gentleman that works for him that owns a drone, and he's offered to bring his drone down and fly while we're picking corn. And so you may be in for a treat, and I may be too, but that's something to look forward to. It'll be a different view. We've always filmed a little short clip in the field of us picking on the tractors and stuff, but never had a drone to our disposal, so that'll be fun. So let me climb back down and I'll show you the hammer mill. Okay, so this is our New Holland 355 hammer mill. Like I said, this mill will hold enough feed for about 2 weeks of feeding this herd. So whenever we're grinding, we come out with a gravity wagon. This is where we put our corn in. This is our load auger into the hammer mill. It goes up the auger down to the hammer mill, and then the hammers get busted. There's a big screen in there. Next time I hammer feed, I'll be sure to let y'all see. This hopper right here is where you can add supplements, whether it's molasses. Some people put salt in them. I don't put salt in my meal because the salt will actually rust the meal out. And then this is the unload auger out the bottom of the meal. It has a control lever here to turn it on and off. I leave it in the on position just so that I can fire the tractor up and then push the PTO lever up. It's an old mill. But it works good for what we've got for it, what we use it for. So let's load another load of feed for cows for tomorrow. Ahead and plug that tractor back up so it wouldn't be so hard to crank maybe next week and tomorrow too if we load out again tomorrow. So alright, so that's feeding cows on our operation. So we'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video, hit that notification bell so you can see when we put stuff up, and have a good one. We'll catch you in the next video. Thank you.